Alright, so today I'm going to be talking about why I wouldn't recommend 401ks. And while they do, yes, they provide a stable source of, I guess, just increasing net worth, they're not increasing your cash flow, and frankly, you don't have any control over the investment, and the rates of growth are extremely low. So basically what I'm saying is I would not put your money in a 401k. I'd rather you should invest those and acquire assets that produce passive income, which grant you the ability to utilize leverage and also, maximize the velocity of your wealth and grow at exponential rates. Because frankly, you can't do that with a 401k, for example. So yes, 401ks do, majority of them are including mutual funds. So what is a mutual fund? A mutual fund is just a group of stocks that are basically in one fund. So you invest in all of them. So basically, you're paying someone else to these stocks are picked by someone else. So you're basically paying someone else to invest your money to it when you really look at the base of it. And yes, it is diverse, which I guess you'd say is one sort of protection, but that only actually protects you against one type of market dropping. Let's say the electronics or healthcare market drops, or anything oil drops. So it only protects you against one type. It does not protect you against overall the whole market going down, which that's why we go to options, because you have more control over it, because you can't control the market, but you can control options, and you can also manage risk very well with options rather than a 401k. So that's one of the things to keep in mind, is that with a 401k, that you're not, just because it is diversity, yes, it is a line of defense, but it is no way a complete form of protection, because you're still very vulnerable to just an overall market drop rather than just a specific market dropping. So you always keep that in mind. One of the things I feel like it's, I wouldn't go with any government like retirement plan, for example, because I feel like because then that's also, you're placing a lot of your money and getting the control of everybody else. In my opinion, you know what I mean? I always, I want control of my money. I want to know where it's going. And if I lose money, it's going to be because of me. It's not going to be because of someone else. And then I'm going to take that lesson. I'm going to learn from it, because if someone else is making a mistake, how can I learn from that mistake? So, see, it also really, the more you're managing yourself, the more you're going to develop financial literacy and really build off your financial education, just make you a better, well-rounded investor in general. And let's go back to what I talked about when it increases. It goes for net worth. Net worth, what is it? It's basically the amount of equity of all your assets, basically, and then you subtract liabilities, obviously. And that's what 401k builds. But it does not build a steady stream of passive income. So what do I mean by this? So let's just say a family, a couple has $1 million in their 401k. We'll just say $1 million. It's an easy number. One of the things that why time is not on their side rather than utilizing time as an asset is that they're just spending money and it's not coming back in. Where this money, it eventually is going to run out, which is very unfortunate, but that's the way it works when you don't have passive income. Because at the end of the day, it's just as good as putting money in a bank account. So, when it comes to actual, let's say you acquire assets to produce passive income, for example, such as real estate, such as maybe you trade options to the stock market. There's a variety of different types of assets. I love real estate, for example. But let's say, let's go with real estate, for example. Let's say you have passive income getting produced from real estate. Time is on your side, therefore your properties are appreciated. You're making the use of refinancing and also 1031 exchanges that exponentially grow your wealth. When it comes down to it, these are always going to be bringing in cash flow. Your account, your 401k is not bringing in cash flow. You're just taking money out. It's eventually going to run out. When in reality, it's basically just being recycled. It's basically the equivalent to, throwing stuff in a trash can, for example, like the 401k. You don't see it again. And then assets, I like to look at it recycling, because where does your money go? Assets produce cash flow, which you redirect back into assets, exponentially grow your wealth. So you got a cycling. It's a cycle rather than just a line. It's a cycle. So that's really important to keep that in mind, because there is no end point. When in reality, a 401k, it will end. So that's why I always recommend always taking control of your money. And don't let anybody else control your equity, because a lot of times when they make a mistake, you're not going to learn from it. So, like I said, if I lose money, it's going to be I want it to be my fault. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to know what I did wrong and make that mistake. Because if you have some broker or mutual fund manager, across the country, for example, making a mistake, and you just all you see though is just the numbers going down, and you don't really know what's behind it, you're not going to learn from it. So if you're the ones making the mistakes, keep that in mind. Yes, it is a burden. Yes, you may have mistakes. They're completely normal. But if you're the ones making the mistakes, you're going to be the ones learning the lessons, and that's what you can apply to your future. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.